Okay. This is John from All Points TV, and we have Adam Basil in the studio with us today. How you doing, Adam?
Doing great.
And as a video clip show, that was really well done, by the way. Whoever did that, congratulations, kudos. It was a great job. And anyway, it's really relevant to what we're talking about today because the video showed much of the area we're talking about right now, where it's this church is having a launch tomorrow, and you want people to be aware of this launch. And let's go into that. What is this all about?
Well, the church itself is called Lincoln Park Community Church. Used to be called Lincoln Park Baptist Church. It had been closed down for about 5 years, and the pastor from the Bridge, Stephen Bentley, actually took it upon himself, or was guided down the path of starting a new church in a different neighborhood, and it actually opened the doors end of last year. First official service was in 13 January, I believe, this year. Excuse me. And right from the get-go, I was invited out there. Actually, my ministry was invited to operate out of the church. And Steve kind of got our attention by donating money to us to help serve the homeless in Flint. But we really haven't had a home church ourselves, so it was a pretty cool invitation. But to be able to hear Steve's vision and the launch team's vision for this church and the community was incredibly inspiring. A lot of what he said really went along with the founding principles of my ministry, and that is to really get out and impact a community with the love of Jesus.
And as you saw there, the area that you were showing highlights from, and also the pictures and the posters of people who are missing, because Atherton Road is an area where a lot of women have turned out missing and stuff like that in the past few years. This area of town really needs a ministry, really needs a presence of light, and this church is, it's a holding out hope that it can become something like that, because it's a very depressed area. All of Flint is, but I mean this area is like really bad, as you saw some of the burnout homes and stuff like that featured in that video clip that you put together.
Yeah, all the video pretty much, except for some of the Netflix parts, all that video and images are from that neighborhood. It was compiled with stuff that I took, some other videos that I found through YouTube, but it was all in that particular area. And even right now, this church really serves as, like you said, a bright light or a beacon in that neighborhood. And I wasn't trying to get too negative with the video, but what I wanted to do for the viewer is to have them feel that this was kind of like a baseline of the status of our community right now. We're already having an impact with our church. One of the missions that was brought up, a direction they wanted to go with it, is to have something happening at the church every night of the week. And one of those was to have a special heavy metal or hard rock or Christian rock service, a heavier, louder music service on Saturdays. The first concept is that we were going to do it every Saturday, and once we started putting all the details together, we kind of dialed that back a little bit and said, okay, we're going to go one Saturday a month and see how that works out. And so the planning for that was probably shorter than it should have been, but it is coming together, and our first launch we're calling it the Linc, and our first launch for that is going to be tomorrow night, Saturday, April 20th, from 6 p.m. till about 7:30. If people are jamming, it might go a little bit later. You never know.
Now, how many bands are going to be here? Just one, or are you going to have several? Or
There's going to be 2 bands coming in. One of them is called the Savior's Army. That's just going to be an acoustic set with their lead singer. Then there's going to be a short message with Pastor Bentley. And then Veracity is coming out. They're a regional Christian recording band, and I think they're from the Port Huron area. And they're going to be out there for the second part of the set.
no, this is probably obviously not going to be a dress-up affair, as come as you are kind of scenario, or
Yeah, I told people, you can wear a suit, or you could wear, pajamas or flip-flops or combat boots. It's we are always come as you are, but the idea with this service and with a heavier music service is to really reach people where they are at their level, where they're at right now, and bring them into an environment that doesn't feel churchy. It doesn't feel traditional at all. It's going to still have a little bit of an appearance of being a traditional church service, but the crowd that we're expecting to attract to it is definitely going to make you see it as being something different. We're billing it as Flint's first heavy metal church service.
that sounds intriguing. I mean, it's like the rock. I mean, there's different ways of reaching people with a message, and I mean, you got to speak to people in their own language, so let's make it relevant to them, I guess. And this is definitely. It sounds intriguing. It really does. Sounds interesting. And also, what else is going on? There's any going to be like there's not going to be clowns or anything else like that, is there?
No.
Okay, so it's like basically this is what would you say would probably be for the most comfortable coming to this kind of service?
Well, I think it's not going to be uncomfortable for anyone, but I think the people that were into cars and motorcycles and tattoos and that sort of thing.
It's reaching people where they're at now, and it's like now this is the launch. Now you're like you said you're hoping to make this at least a once a month thing and
Yep.
go from there. If they're showing to express interest, and obviously it's going to be expanded, correct?
Yeah, definitely. My plan right now is to have it once a month for about 6 months, and then we can evaluate where we're at at that point and see if the process is tuned enough so that when people come out on a weekly basis, we're not throwing stuff together and getting stressed out about it like we are right now.
Yeah, it's definitely. And how long has this been in the works?
Only about 2 months.
So it's, I mean, people don't realize how much effort is required for this kind of stuff. I mean, you got to get the people willing to perform, who's got the schedules cleared. You also have to, obviously go coordinate a lot of things, I think. So, I mean, it's no small undertaking. Now, in the future, and you're saying if people want to say, we like to see this, would you encourage them to make comments, maybe on Facebook, or reach you somehow to, for future events?
Yeah, definitely. On the church's Facebook page, there's also posts and links on the church's Facebook page to the Linc. So the Linc has a Facebook page as well. And if you are planning on coming out for tomorrow night, we'd like you to show interest or say that you're going to the event. That would help us as far as planning for refreshments and stuff like that. But, we've already had a lot of interest from actually other Christian bands that want to play at our church. And one of them I sort of had to wave off on because of the size of it. But a Christian metal tour wants to play at our church.
And that's really kind of encouraging.
And we're probably going to do that. Well, I'm looking at doing that for next summer, and probably using the grounds that used to be Cody Elementary School.
Well, that's really encouraging, because if they're already excited about it enough to actually tour, I think that's a promise right there. I mean, it's
5 to 7 bands.
Wow.
what they do is they come to your church, and for the first 2 days, all they do is go out to the community and connect with the lost. Then on the third day, they play a blowout concert with all these bands. So it's pretty awesome.
Now it's like people who are like think with their stomachs, like I myself. What kind of going to have like their refreshments? What do you have planned so far, or is it going to be like catch if you can, or?
Well, there's going to be stuff there that's free, like donuts and coffee and pretzels and cookies and Kool-Aid and that kind of stuff. We're going to have hot dogs out there and bags of chips for 50 cents. We're going to try our rendition of a Flint coney for $1, and that's about it.
I think there's something for everybody here. I mean, and
we're also going to have a temporary tattoo artist out there as well. I forgot to mention that.
temporary tattoo. Okay. It's like I just think it's like we got a picture of the church in back of Adam right there. So, and also a map, and there's also the address of the place right there in front of you, so you don't have to scramble to find it. What else kind of information would you want people to have, before coming, or did you have any kind of things you want to address?
Well, we're gonna try to accommodate everyone that comes out there. I guess the other bit of information, important information, is Sunday morning. We're having a free brunch at 10 a.m. and then service is at 11.
At the same church.
Yep, same
Okay.
church.
Okay, and
You do have to go home though. You can't like sleep overnight, but
well, it's like what they say at bars: you don't have to go home, but you just can't stay here. But that's my grandparents owned a bar. It was a running joke for us, but because a lot of people didn't want to go home, their home life was, really not that great. But I mean, you're in a church, and we definitely, they still got space limitations anyway. How many people you think would, this comfortably accommodate the place here?
our sanctuary could probably comfortably accommodate, I don't know, maybe 200 people. I'm not sure what that's actually going to look like for tomorrow night, but for starting night, I guess you never really know.
No, definitely. And like I said, and also, if people don't know this, Adam and his wife, Amber, have a ministry going on down in Pontiac, Michigan. So you're kind of two cities you're working out of.
Actually, it's primarily three. The Armor of Light Ministry serves Pontiac, Flint, and Detroit. With the outpouring of support we received from Flint for the homeless in Flint, the support came through our ministry. We've really doubled down our efforts on this community right now, and being able to work out of this church, work with the church, get to know the hearts of the people that are running the church, and it's really going to be making a serious impact on this community.
I definitely hope so. I mean, like that video showed, and we see all the time who live here, we see some very depressed areas and when you talk to the people, some very tragic tales of, drug addiction, of dysfunctionalisms, and definitely, there's definitely a need for a change in people's lives, change in the way they perceive the world around them. And I would hope that something like this could, bolster that, to bring it forward. I mean, it is depressing in the city. I mean, it gets to people after a while. And this is this is a ray of hope, a beacon of hope, you should say, a beacon of light. So anyway, anything else you want to say before we wrap this up to, encourage people, or anything, other information, or?
Well, besides people from the community, we'd like to see maybe some of the suburban churches coming out and checking out the service as well. One of our hopes for the ministry as a whole is to have other churches sending missionaries to Flint, having missionaries to Flint operating out of our building, and tending to the needs of the lost and helping the homeless and stuff like that.
No, definitely. And like I think you and your wife have done some great things in the past couple of years that I've talked to you. And there's definitely been a change in your life that I've seen. And not that you're a bad person, but I can definitely see you've grown into this ministry, into this role, and that's really encouraging. And I also encourage you, any other time you want to come up and get word about any kind of event like this, to contact me, and we'll do what we're doing now. Okay.
Definitely.
And thank you again for showing up today. And people, come on out tomorrow night out there at the Lincoln Park Community Church, 742 Newbert Avenue, Flint, Michigan, 48507. And it's right there on the screen. And you also can contact Adam through Facebook. And what's your Facebook page?
I think it's LPCC Flint.
He doesn't contact himself too often, people. He knows what at least he keeps track of what's going on that way.
If you look up Lincoln Park Community Church and make sure it's the one in Flint, not like in Lincoln Park, Michigan. It's named for the neighborhood, which is Lincoln Park.
Yeah, it's
and you should be able to find us. You could even look up the link, find us that way, LINC.
Well, thanks again, and people, I definitely encourage you to come out with your families and friends, and have a good time. I mean, you probably do a lot of networking, a lot of fellowship, and Lord only knows where this can go. All right, and really wish you the best on this. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Bye.